So today's town hall is all about VoxEdit. So for those that are not familiar with VoxEdit, it is the free-to-use software used to create all of those amazing assets that you see within the Sandbox game. And we are going to introduce you to our amazing guest today. We are joined by, and please can you introduce yourself and let everybody listening know what it is that you do at the Sandbox.
Hey, Pada. Well, thank you for the invitation. Well, my name is Jose Guerra. I'm the product owner of the VoxEdit squad, so I'm in charge of this product, and I've been part of the sandbox for the last 3 years. I started in this team with Oni, and with our main developer. He's right here in the chat also. I started with him as the product manager in the beginning, and I got a promotion to PO last year, and continue with the work of our previous PO, Colin Morrison, who was the one with vision of the redesign, the box set redesign.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you being here. And I did notice as well, Oni was in here. So thank you so much, Oni, for being in the chat. And 3 years is a long time to be in the Sandbox. So that's amazing that you've been with us for so long on the VoxEdit team. And also congratulations on the promotion as well. Fantastic. So
Thank you.
let's
Thank you so much.
no problem at all. You deserve all of the love and everything towards you. Let's jump on into our first question, which is, you've recently launched the newest version of VoxEdit. So for the people listening, can you let them know a little bit more about what they can expect with the newest version of VoxEdit?
Yeah, sure. Well, with the new version of VoxEdit, users can expect the start of a period of expansion and growth. For users, what they see in the beginning is the UI updated, but it's not only the new UI on VoxEdit. It's not a revamp. We, with the new UI system and the new panel system that we introduced for this release, we recoded most of VoxEdit, and this will enable the addition of new tools and improvements to the existing ones, providing more versatile and efficient editing experience. So we're setting the base to start creating new stuff in VoxEdit, but we needed to start with this first, to start working on new tools.
Amazing. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, rewriting it from base code is like rewriting the whole code is an extreme task to undertake. So congratulations, not just to you, Jose, but the whole VoxEdit team for doing all of that work, which is absolutely amazing. But now
It's been almost I would say almost 2 years. But if we start thinking about when we start discussing with Colin about the redesign, it's almost 3 years of discussion on how we wanted to improve VoxEdit. So it was a huge trip with the entire team. So I'm really happy with this first new version of VoxEdit and what it's going to come next.
amazing, and I'm sure lots of people here are excited about what is to come next. And moving on to our next question, which is, obviously we've gone over the new version of VoxEdit, but for those that don't or might want to start using VoxEdit, could you explain a little about what exactly is Oh my goodness, I cannot speak today. Could you explain a little bit about what exactly is VoxEdit and what can users do with it?
Yeah, sure. Well, VoxEdit it's modular and an animator software based on voxels. Actually, it's free to use, and we created it for the Sandbox ecosystem, but it's not mandatory to use it only on the Sandbox. Users can create their own assets from scratch or use our templates, and then they can upload it to the workspace on our ecosystem or even use it on their own projects outside the Sandbox ecosystem.
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing to note is like yes, although VoxEdit does it's used primarily and downloaded from the sandbox, but as you mentioned, it can be used outside of that. So people who are interested in using voxel editing software could just use VoxEdit without needing to be involved in the sandbox, and it really is a standalone product in on itself, which is absolutely amazing.
Exactly, and that's why many times we are not following the release date of, for example, a season. We are on, as you mentioned, we are like a separate product, part of the ecosystem, but we have different release dates, for example.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. And we're gonna talk a
I
little.
have a question for you. I have a question for you, because for new users or people that wants to start working with VoxEdit, we have a tutorial links in VoxEdit. But besides that, where are the best places users can learn to how to use VoxEdit?
Oh, thank you. And yeah, great question there, which is obviously, as you mentioned, VoxEdit itself does have the tutorials embedded in there that people can click and they can go to the Sandbox YouTube and find all of those tutorials. But we also have VoxEdit quick tips, which, although are on our YouTube, are shared weekly in our official Twitter. So if you aren't following VoxEdit on Twitter, you definitely should at VoxEdit, as well as our live VoxEdit streams, which are every Monday at 5 p.m. UTC, where anybody can come on in, ask how to use something, how to do something in VoxEdit, ask general VoxEdit related questions, or just, watch me create something based off of a certain topic. But we're always happy to show you guys how to use those tools on those Monday 5 p.m. UTC streams over on our Twitch. We also have a super large educational base in our Git book, which in a moment I'll go and grab a link for that and share that in chat. If you would like to go see our Git book, it's not just for VoxEdit there. It has so much information. Think of it like a Wikipedia for everything Sandbox. But those are the main places. So obviously VoxEdit has it itself embedded all the tutorial YouTube videos. We have amazing Git books over on our Twitter. We have educational videos, and every single Monday we have specialized VoxEdit streams. So thank you, Jose, for asking that. A common question from the community since the new launch, and I think a lot of people here will be really happy that we're sort of going to ask and answer this, which is since the launch of the newest versions, assets that are particularly large with a high face count and although within optimization appear to have some lag issues compared to previous versions. Will a fix come in to reduce this issue of lag?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, this is really important topic. Um, and we are aware of this. We've observed that assets with a very high number of nodes and faces, some of them well above the recommended limits, can cause lag. So we know that these assets used to perform smoothly in the previous version, um, and we are actually working on improvements related to performance. Um, and we also have something on our agenda to improve the way or the flow you work with many nodes. But that upgrade will make users change the way they construct their assets on the animator. But we think it's going to be a lot better, and the amount of nodes will reduce a lot. So in the meantime, what we recommend is to follow the ecosystem guidelines and the best practices when creating assets, um, because the complex model can and impact on the overall performance in the game. So in the meantime, we recommend that. But we are making our research. We have, like I mentioned, we have like an idea for improving the way we work with many nodes, and that's most of the problem are the nodes more than the faces. Um, so we have that for our roadmap for this year.
Amazing. Thank you. And I will say as well, I noticed this question in our VoxEdit chat by one of our users, and I feel like we could potentially answer it, but they did ask if because they kept an old version of VoxEdit, which I always suggest to users, always keep at least one older version of VoxEdit. You can't upload from it, but they did say if they use an older version of VoxEdit and then open that new asset in the new version to upload to their workspace, would there be any issue with that? Like, would a rig be randomly broken because they made it in an old version and then opened it in the new version to upload? So they're kind of like using both versions. Could you see that being an issue at all?
Actually, no, there's no problem. We didn't make any change related to the format, the file formats on VoxEdit. And most of the things that we've been testing before the release were assets made on the previous public version. And we made changes on the new one and went to the previous one, and we didn't notice any problem of assets breaking in between versions. One of the artists that works with us in the office in Buenos Aires, it's modeling a lot of stuff with really huge assets, and he's helping us testing how they work in the previous version and how it works on the new. And it's working really good. It's working really good. So we are confident on that.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And I'm sure whether they're listening here now or listening to the upload, I hope that that sort of answers their question there. But let's get back to the latest update to VoxEdit, which is how does the latest update enhance the creator's experience?
Well, something that we started discussing a long time ago was about the introduction of the flexible panel system that allows the users to customize and organize their own layouts according to their preference. This is something that the artist, m- many artists, internal artists of the Sandbox, were expecting, because sometimes, for example, in my case, I don't used to work with layers, so I prefer to have that space uh, with modeling or seeing a little bit bigger my model. So the idea and the colors, for example, the colors, I don't, I'm not used to have the colors on the right, so I move that panel to the bottom of VoxEdit with the palette I used to use. And from my point of view, it's really good to have that flexibility of moving and arranging what you want. So I think for this latest update, this is the personalization makes it easier to access frequently used features. So that's the biggest thing we have on this update.
Amazing. And I will say, yeah, those tabs, being able to tab and really optimize and have like more control over your workspace, that seems to be like the biggest thing that people have said that they love about the latest version of VoxEdit, which is amazing to see because honestly, having those tabs is just so much easier. It's nice to be able to move things around and just really bespoke your own workplace. So fantastic to see. And now let's move on to maybe some little beans, some stuff for the future, which is we've had a few requests from the community that have been asking about the possibility of adding a search function in the library for Animator. Is this something on the VoxEdit roadmap? If you can share it.
Yeah, sure. Um, Actually, we have that. It's something that we observed, that was a request from the community some time ago, and it's something that we've been discussing with the team, and we have it on our plans. Not right now, but you will see it in the future. Um, and we are discussing about the possibility of having like a search feature not only for the library, it will work in many parts of VoxEdit. So we are going to start working on a search system inside VoxEdit. So if you need to, for example, if you need to use it on the library because you need to find a particular asset there, you will be able to use the search function. But for example, if you want to use it because you have a really complex rig and you need to find a particular node, the search function it's going to allow you also to find that node on the skeleton panel. So yes, it's something that we are planning, we are discussing, and we are not yet, but we have it to start brainstorming and creating the specs to work with it.
Awesome. Like the addition to just search feature in the library, like it being more than that, sounds super exciting. So I'm looking forward to that for one. I know there are times I've gone to the library side and I've been like, oh no, I have too many. I have to scroll to go find what I need to find when it, and like, I know they're ordered alphabetically, but you know, that's having a search string there would be really helpful. And now for potential additional beans, what can artists expect to see from future features and updates in VoxEdit?
Well, as I mentioned before, the updated UI and the panel system will allow the implementation of new sets of tools and improvements. Of course, right now I cannot share with you exactly which are the sets of tools we are working on, but we have a few that will be in a few releases for this year. Um, they are amazing. The specs are ready, and the technical validation it's ready. So you're going to love it because for what we heard from the community in the past, those tools will be really useful for everyone.
Awesome. That's great to hear. And I like can't give too many beans, but we're giving little sprinkles of what's to come. Uh
Uh, it's it's a tool that many artists um, use in Magic Voxel. So and we don't have it. Um, it's going to help with the selection and with colors, and I cannot say something more.
Stop speaking, stop
But
speaking. Don't ruin it.
it's going to be amazing.
Okay, right. You guys heard that here first. It's going to be amazing, but you're not allowed to know what it is or any other details. You just got to wait, okay? Wait
Yeah,
patiently.
something that I can share with you is that it's a little bit related with the search on the library. We've been discussing with the team, and it's something that we received from some artists, that sometimes the library could be a little bit messy with the amounts of models that could be in there. So we are discussing about a way to organize the models in groups on the library. So it's something that could be on in the future, in the near future. Um, so for what we heard, it's going to be really useful for many artists.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I think our next question is one that you've got to ask me, so I'm not asking myself a question.
And yeah, and it's more related to our ecosystem,
Yeah.
and because there are many artists that create content and they want to monetize their content. So uh, are there are ways. So which are the ways to earn money from using VoxEdit?
Awesome. Amazing question. I didn't know you were going to ask me 100%. Um So, what ways are there to earn from using VoxEdit? So, there's a few ways in which you can earn from VoxEdit. Obviously, being a paid artist, so you can, if other people are looking for assets for their experiences, maybe people are taking part in game jams and they're builders, but they're not artists, then you could become a paid artist. That we do have a for hire channel that you could go in by connecting with builders and just getting contracts that way, or reaching out to people building in this space that may not know how to make assets. Then that is one way you could earn money from being a paid artist for other people's experiences. The other ways is minting and selling your assets in our game, in our marketplace. You obviously need catalysts currently to mint your assets. However, you can win those catalysts in VoxEdit contests, or even other ways. Sometimes we give catalysts away on our streams. We give catalysts away as part of giveaways. In fact, let's give 5 common catalysts away to a lucky listener here today. Sometimes we give away things in these random Discord town halls. So let's give away 5 common catalysts to someone in here, which we'll announce right near the end. But yes, once you have those catalysts, you can mint those assets, and then you can sell them on the marketplace, and you get 95% of whatever price you list it for sale. So if you list it for sale at 100 sand, you're going to get 95 sand, and then 5% goes back towards the sandbox. And then the other way, and we did obviously cover this when I mentioned about Catalyst, is our VoxEdit contest. So within our VoxEdit contest, you can earn sand prizes, which does include participation prize. So even just by participating, you are eligible to even win sand rewards. So these are ways that you can earn from using VoxEdit, whether that is being a paid artist for someone, minting and selling your own art on the marketplace, or taking part in these VoxEdit contests. We're getting close to the end now as well, so let's do a little fun closing question. So Jose, what is actually wait? Before we get to the closing question, I've got to ask this other question as well from someone that messaged me the other day asking this. At any point, would you add any more templates to the template section?
Well, that's something that we need to start discussing with the art team. Um, we don't manage. Actually, I think this is something important to for the community to know. We, as part of the Box 8 squad, we don't manage the templates. We receive the templates from the artists, our internal artists, and the art team. So this is something that we can discuss with them. We have a few requests from the community to create like poses, or as mentioned on one of the comments here on the chat, about categories. So this is something that we are willing to with the artist, with our team, internal team, to organize or to have different kind of new templates. So it's something to discuss in the near future.
Amazing. Thank you. And I know I just sprung that up for the people that don't know. Usually we have these questions already laid out. So our guests know what they're answering. And that one was just snuck in there because someone asked me literally the other day, and I was like, oh, I've got to ask it, otherwise I'm gonna forget to ask it. So
Yeah, no problem.
thank you so much for answering that. And completely